of the most important things, Byron, just to address the last part of your question first, is I think most important now than ever before is we as hunters need to stand on the front line of conservation issues. Not necessarily as hunters, but as conservationists. Hunters in today's world get a very, very bad rap. And I think that it's very important for every one of us to show that we are conservationists first. Not to say that, but to show it. And we can do that in many, many ways. We can do it with our wallets. We can do it with our support of various initiatives. We can do it with different programs that we can get engaged with. But I think, Byron, it's never been more important for us as a group to be seen to be fully engaged with initiatives that are off people's radar, that are important issues. And that leads me right into, the chimpanzee issue. It's something I had no idea was actually going on. I went in to have a look at a rehabilitation center in Eastern Congo purely to see what was really happening there. And what I found was really shocking. I mean, you've got these very, very small staff of incredibly dedicated people, and there's closer to 100 chimps than 50. I mean, there's over 70 chimps at that place, and it's just one of several like it. And what that led to, Byron, was we took a team in there, a filming team, and we started to really dive into what was really going on. And what I found was that several hundred baby chimpanzees every year just in Congo are sent to Asia and to the Middle East as exotic pets. And, you go online and there's offerings of, baby chimpanzees for sale and stuff like that. And, chimps are only 2 or 3% different DNA to you and I. They've got a lot of emotional ties to their family. They're incredible parents, which means that in order for a baby chimp to end up on the market, its mother at least, and in a lot of cases, its whole family would have had to be killed. They end up as bushmeat in a bushmeat market somewhere. And these babies, are literally put into a box or a crate or a cage of some sort, tied behind a hut, and then traded under the radar because it is illegal. And so, you've got this incredible trade that's going on underground. And we ended up going into Kinshasa. We found a guy that literally was trading chimps. And for $120, we could have got ourselves a baby chimpanzee right then and there. And, it's heartbreaking when you see these little guys. They come in emotionally broken, physically in very, very bad shape. And, the people at Luero, they really are unsung heroes. People don't even know this epidemic is going on. And then you've got these heroes on the front line. But I think probably one of the most moving things that we discovered was that Lero's supported by a Spanish NGO called Coopera. And when they very first got involved, the local communities at Luero were very unhappy because they said, how can you support wildlife when the people here are in such bad shape? So they started really, really putting a lot of community programs together, a lot of community education, but most importantly, rehabilitation for humans as well. And so you think to yourself, well, what rehabilitation do the humans need? Well, a lot of the keepers, a lot of the people that work there full time are people that have been rehabilitated in that region. There's a lot of child soldiers that are snatched. They kidnapped as young kids. They hooked on drugs. They treated very, very poorly, and they forced to operate as child soldiers in one of the various rebel groups. Those people are literally snatched back and rehabilitated. And you can imagine the mental and the social storm that goes on in those little people's heads. It's unbelievable. And then there's also a big program to rescue women who have been there's a word on the street in Congo is that if you rape a child less than 8 years old, it'll cure you of AIDS. And so you get these children that have been kidnapped, and that's what they're used for. And it's a really moving story when you see these orphan chimpanzees being rehabilitated by keepers who are themselves orphans in some way. It's a moving story that the world doesn't know about. The world does not realize this is happening, Byron, and it's time that they did know.
Yeah.